All right, first things first, I am a center right libertarian. I do not care if you support ICE or you despise ICE. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just going off the brass tacks, and we're looking at Gestapo versus ICE. Let's see if there's even a comparison that you can make. So first things first, we're going to be starting with the Gestapo. It was formed in 1933. The leadership transferred to Heinrich Himmler, the leader of the SS, in 1934. It's a little more convoluted than that. Let's just say I didn't want to type out that much stuff. The Gestapo was used to focus upon political opponents, ideological dissenters, which included clergy and religious organizations, career criminals, the Sinti and Roma populations, handicapped persons, homosexuals, and above all, the Jews. Yeah, that's a well-known fact. Those arrested were held without judicial process and often disappeared as a result. And this was most likely they were sent to concentration camps or killed outright. The Gestapo had complete authority of all uniformed police in 1936 after Hitler merged all law enforcement under Heinrich Himmler. It's way more convoluted than that. I super convoluted, but basically that's what happened. All uniformed police were technically the Gestapo in Nazi Germany. The Gestapo played a massive role in the Holocaust, which killed millions upon millions of people. Uh, Pretty obvious. Um, they heavily relied on regular citizens to tip them off about above mentioned focuses up here. We're talking about this right here, this stuff. And yeah, so they weren't necessarily going around and kicking open every single door. Generally, they relied on regular German citizens in Nazi Germany to basically rat or snitch on other people if they were like hiding Jews, hiding homosexuals, hiding Romas, or all of that stuff. Very bad. Very, very bad. They routinely employed torture and had an odd fixation on sexual deviance. And I didn't really know a lot about this second part. And from what I read, basically, is anybody who was non Aryan and you had relations, we'll say, with them, that was like a big no no. And then also, obviously, they really hated homosexuals. It was like they really did not like them. But it's just weird that a lot of the. It's just weird how focused they were on it. Like, from what I read, it was strange to say the least. And then the Gestapo had about 32K active members of the Gestapo proper, which was like the people actually employed and called the Gestapo. But as above mentioned, all uniformed police in Germany at the time technically worked for the Gestapo and was the Gestapo. Like they took orders from the Gestapo. As you see that here, Heinrich Himmler was the de facto lead of all of the uniformed police in Nazi Germany at the time. And at the end here, the Gestapo was given carte blanche to raid homes without warrants, arrest anyone without due process, was above the judicial system as a whole, allowing them to commit horrific atrocities, some of which remain unsolved, which there are people missing that were interrogated last by the Gestapo that they have no idea what happened to them. They they really do not have any idea what happened to them. And there's a lot more stuff about the Gestapo. I didn't want to get too graphic in what they actually did because the Gestapo was very horrific. They did a lot of atrocities. It was very bad. They were very, very bad people. which I almost everybody, and I'm going to say almost everybody because there are people like the neo Nazis that agree with the Nazis, which is a whole separate topic, but almost everybody can agree that the Nazis were bad. The Gestapo was bad. Easy, right? Easy. And we're going to go down here to ICE, right? So ICE was formed in 2002 as a result of the Homeland Security Act after the 9/11 attacks. Not a lot of people know this, but yes, it was. They were formed as the Homeland Security Act after 9/11. Another thing not a lot of people know about ICE is it is broken up into two primary branches. There are like three more sub branches, but they're not really necessarily important in this discussion. So the first branch is the HSI. They are the investigatory branch. They go and they basically figure out where the illegal immigrants are, and they figure out what crimes they've committed, all of that stuff. Sorry. Ooh. And then there's the ERO, which is what most people are familiar with. The ERO right now are in Minnesota. They're the people. They are the boots on the ground. They are the people that you see. They are the ones doing the removal operations. They are the guys with the vests with the rifles that everyone sees. They are like actually there, arresting these illegal immigrants, putting them in the detention centers, and getting them removed. Right. So, and another thing about ICE is that it uses 8 USC 1357, which authorizes warrantless arrests for violations of immigration law. Not a lot of people know this, but they can do warrantless arrests if you violate immigration law. It's right there. Look up 8 USC 1357. They can do that. Then ICE utilizes Form I-200, which is the arrest form, and then Form I-205, which is the removal form, to detain individuals, though these are not judicial warrants signed by a judicial judge, right? So we're going to put a pin in that right there, right? These are not judicial warrants signed by a judicial judge. It's very important. It'll make sense in a couple bullet points down. Okay, then 8 USC 1324A. This makes it unlawful to knowingly employ unauthorized workers, allowing ICE to conduct audits of Form I-9s. So this is when you see ICE conduct a raid at like a business or somewhere where they're employing these illegal immigrants. That's why they're doing this. And the people who do the inspections of the Form I-9s are the HSI, the investigatory. Then they tell ERO to go there and conduct said raid, right? Another thing, ICE cannot enter a home or private areas of a workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge, unless given permission, exigent circumstances, or an administrative warrant. That's very, right there, that's very key. An administrative warrant, right? Because immigration is handled by the executive branch, not the judicial branch. Not a lot of people know this. It is handled by the executive branch, right? Okay. Then ICE can operate without a warrant in public spaces, such as streets, transit, lobby, basically anywhere that's a public place. They don't need a warrant to go there. They don't. It's right there. Okay. Upholds the laws of Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, of 1952. This is very base. There's been a lot of addendums. There's been a lot of additions to this act since the 1952 act. It's just that's when it first started, and like it builds off from there if you want to look that up. Okay. This is where the criticism of ICE are formed. Most forms of criticism of ICE focus on excessive force against journalists, not good, unlawful detainments of American citizens, and the two deaths in recent months of both Renee Good and Alex Preddy in racial profiling. All of that's not good, right? None of that's good, right? How about that? I think that's bad, right? This is bad, right? Very bad, very bad. The Holocaust, a lot worse. Just gonna put it out there, guys. Holocaust was a lot worse than than excessive force, unlawful detainments. Those are bad. Don't get me wrong; those are bad. The two deaths, very bad. I think the Holocaust is just a little bit worse. Well, probably a lot bit worse, in my opinion. A lot bit worse. Okay, next. Under 18 USC 242, agents can be federally prosecuted for willfully violating an individual's constitutional rights, right? So if we go up here, the Gestapo was never, like, they were never held account until after the war. You could not prosecute any of the Gestapo. You just couldn't. But in the United States, you can. If he willfully, it's another big point right there, willfully violating an individual's constitutional rights. Another thing, both U.S. citizens and non-citizens, including undocumented immigrants, have constitutional rights and can sue for abuse and mistreatment. Right there. They can do that. You can sue the federal government for abuse or mistreatment by ICE. You can sue the government and you'll most likely win, because if it's pretty easy, if there's abuse or mistreatment, especially nowadays with how many cameras, all of that, you can see abuse or mistreatment. So take it to court. Like there's no reason like there's no reason to attack people when you can just settle it in court, right? Okay, here's another very important thing. Not a lot of people know about this, right? The due process of an undocumented immigrant includes a notice to appear in front of an immigration judge, which is an executive branch judge. This judge is a part of the executive branch. It is not a part of the judicial branch at all. Means the judicial branch has no say, zero say. It's just they have to appear in front of an immigration judge, which is an executive branch judge. Let me make that very clear. Executive branch, headed by the president, right? Then we go to immigration hearings do not have juries, right? This is another thing. People are talking about jury trials. Immigration needs jury trials and all. They don't have them. They don't. They are considered civil matters. And if you do not show up, which means in absentia, you will get an automatic removal order, right? So that means that is an automatic removal order is basically a warrant from said immigration judge to immediately be removed from the country, which is the due process. That is the due process, right? A lot of these people don't understand that they were given a notice to appear. A lot of these people, right? They were given a notice to appear and they did not. When you're talking about these people that have been in the country for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they had so much time to make this right. They did. They were given a notice to appear and they refused. So that means that they are in absentia, which means you get an automatic removal order, which means you will get deported. It's very clean cut. You can look this up with cursory Google searches. This is all cursory Google searches. A lot of this is from Wikipedia, the sources on Wikipedia, the government's websites. This is very, very easily look upable. And it is crazy to me that people would compare the Gestapo to ICE. It's absolutely insane. The Gestapo took part in the killing of millions of people in the Holocaust. Millions of people in the Holocaust. There was no way for you to get justice from the Gestapo while the Nazi Party was in power. Right here, where is it? Agents can be federally prosecuted. That didn't happen to the Gestapo. That couldn't happen. You can sue the government for abuse or mistreatment. That didn't happen for the Gestapo. That didn't happen in Nazi Germany. You can literally get justice if you think misjustice is happening. That did not happen in Nazi Germany. It just didn't. It's completely asinine to me that people compare these evilly horrific people to ICE. They're not even close. Or ERO. They're not even close. They really aren't. Like, they're following the laws on the books. If you got a problem with the laws, you got to take that up with Congress. You got to take that up with Congress. People attacking ICE, comparing them to literal Nazis, is absolutely insane. Not only does it dumb down what the Nazis did, the Nazis did such horrific things, and you just calling people following the laws that are on the books for years, many, many years now, Nazis, you're just dumbing down what these horrific people did. And it's just horrible. It's horrible. We can't be doing this. Like, as a country, we can't allow people to call people Gestapo and Nazis when they're not even close to what the Gestapo and the Nazis did. That's dumbing down. That's dumbing down the atrocities that were actually committed against people. And if you can't see that, I don't know. You're a lost cause. You have brain rot. You got something wrong with you. Because if you can't see the differences between these two organizations, like, newsflash, you're sped. Like, you're actually sped. Like, these people killed millions of people, right? These people have killed, like, I don't know, some people. 2. Like, yeah, I don't think it's good that there's unlawful detainments of American citizens. Not that good. Excessive force against journalists, not good. Not good. 2 deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, not good. Racial profiling, pretty bad. Pretty bad. Killing millions of people, though. You can't compare these two. And if you do, you're sped. Just straight up sped. I just wanted to say that. I wanted to come out with just a little comparison bullet point real quick. Because I think it's pretty obvious that they're extremely different organizations. So yeah, give me a like, follow, comment if you absolutely think I am mentally retarded. Let me know that in the comments. And if you think I'm absolutely based. Also, let me know in the comments. Go to war down there if you'd like. Uh, yeah, that's about it for me.